Welcome to Hello Downtown, a podcast by Downtown Sioux Falls.
This is Hello Downtown, the podcast where we explore the people, the places, and the pulse of our city's core. I'm your host, Brandon Hanson, and every episode we dive into the stories shaping life in the heart of Sioux Falls. So whether you're downtown every day or just downtown at heart, let's jump in. Well, March has arrived, and with it comes the return of the events that bring our community back out of hibernation and into the heart of our community. That is, of course, downtown Sioux Falls. This episode is part of our larger series highlighting the massive moments that define this season in Sioux Falls. And few are as anticipated as Mash Madness, of course, our annual taste and rate craft drink competition. Mash Madness has become a fan favorite, of course, inviting people to explore, sip, and vote their way through some of the most inventive cocktails, brews, and non-alcoholic creations downtown has to offer. Later, you're going to hear from some of last year's winners, but first, we're going to be joined by our presenting sponsor, helping make it all possible, and that's Willikers. But today, from Willikers, we're joined by Tracy Lambert, their general manager. Is a local leader in the beverage scene, of course, and an advocate for community connection. Tracy brings both expertise and enthusiasm to this year's competition, and we're so excited to talk about Mash Madness, the evolving craft drink culture in Sioux Falls, and what it means to support one of downtown's signature events. Tracy, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, and I've actually got a drink for us here. This is Severance Brewing Company's No Licks Given, kind of their take on a kind of a lollipop with the Tootsie Roll center.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to open this sucker up right now and pour a drink.
Sounds good. Not going to do the how many drinks it takes to finish the can, I assume.
We could. I mean, this is a growler.
It's a big can.
This is a 25 ounce growler, so that might be a while. So here you go.
Thank you.
So Tracy, you are a certified specialist of wine and spirits, the general manager of Willikers. So what first sparked your passion for the world of spirits?
I'm a big history guy, and both wine and spirits both have a big history note to it. I mean, you can go all the way back as far as you want. Civilization itself can kind of go back to the roots of alcohol. It wouldn't be around if we couldn't purify water, and that's done usually through alcohol. So made for safe drinking options when there weren't good ones there. And then you can follow it all the way through history and track alcohol through it. So that's kind of what drives me to it. And it's not what most people go for, but it's kind of the connection point for me.
Yeah, that's really neat. And Willikers is an organization. The first stop wasn't Sioux Falls.
No, the original store is up in Bismarck, still there, doing pretty well up there. Very similar look. It's actually a little bigger than what our store is, but laid out a little bit different on the inside. So ours feels bigger, but theirs is actually bigger.
Yeah, I know when you open the news headlines in the stores where this is the biggest store in Sioux Falls.
It's the biggest one in the state by a fairly good margin. There's a couple of bigger ones out west now, but for Sioux Falls, we for sure are quite a bit larger than anybody else. And on this side of the state, there's nothing that really rivals it for sure. And honestly, you can stand Willikers next to almost any liquor store in the country and we'll do pretty well.
That's great. Yeah, you can see it driving on I-29 or I-229, I should say, the green neon lights.
Yeah, you can see it off 29 too if you're paying attention, but you got to really be paying attention.
Yeah, that's great. So how does your certification, this certified in specialist of wine and spirits and experience influence the way you curate the selection that Willikers has?
I mean, we have such a big store, so we pretty much take anything that we can get, but it really helps with what you want to focus on. So it helps you to know like customer opinions, trends, and when they ask about certain things, you can guide them in the right direction. So it really more helps with that. And we have Jeremy is on staff. He also has both of those certifications. So the more knowledge you can have as a team, the better off you are, obviously. So it's really just about taking care of the customer's needs, and it helps with that. There
you go. Now, Willikers took on the presenting sponsorship of Mash Madness this year. This is your guys' first year with us, this downtown Mash Madness competition. What motivated your team to sign on to this event?
It's right down our alley. I mean, it's kind of the drink culture in Sioux Falls. That's something that we try to be at least aware of and paying attention to. Not always necessarily involved because we don't have an on-premise license. So we can give you the components for a lot of these things, but we can't sell them to you as the assembled set like these guys can. So it's interesting to see the way that professionals like these guys down here, these bartenders, they're so good at what they do, use the components that we sell to make more innovative and creative cocktails than what you would normally see. It's fun ways to use different things.
Yeah. And your location is pretty far away from downtown, but it's been pretty cool on our end to include you guys in what's happening down here. And there is just a tremendous amount of creativity, which gets kind of showcased through this event in your industry in particular.
Yeah. And the alcohol culture, like whether you're looking at whiskey or beer or wine, there's very passionate people all over in this town. So, if you're on the outside looking in, you probably don't necessarily see it and you maybe wouldn't assume it. But as soon as you start getting into it a little bit, there's all kinds of people that it's not necessarily their life, but it's definitely their passion. So,
yeah, that's great. And I know a couple of days ago, just for some of the pre-promotion efforts that we're doing for this event, you got to come down here and sample a couple. Can you give us just a little insight on some of the themes, or what were you noticing?
I wouldn't say there was necessarily a theme. It kind of bounced all over. We were down in the Steel District, so we did some of theirs down there. And there's a couple of real like fresh and springy was probably the closer to a theme if there was one. But there was also a Dubai chocolate martini at Jack Rose that was definitely not like a fresh and springy cocktail. It's definitely decadent and sweet. And it was great, but that was kind of an outlier as far as what most of the other ones were going for. Most were doing light and springy. Yeah. And it's a beautiful day. I mean, it was 60 degrees when we were down there, so it fit perfectly. But
patio season is back.
Yeah.
All of a sudden. Yeah. So this Dubai chocolate bar, I'm going to take a little tangent here because the first place I ever saw one of these is at Willikers. Yeah. Just kind of blown away. I think it was a $25 chocolate bar.
Yeah. We've got a couple different options now, so you can get them for a little bit less than that, but they're super popular. The first time I saw them come in, obviously you see them online and stuff, and it's kind of trendy and TikTok-y, but we got them in, and man, they sold out fast, like real fast. So then we reordered, and that one sold out again. And then we reordered, and they sold out again. So they're definitely popular. You kind of see them all over the place now, but they're still moving at a pretty good clip. And it's an interesting candy bar, I guess.
Yeah, and it takes a while to get through it because it's so...
There's a lot there.
It is decadent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So from your perspective as a spirits expert, what does a competition like Mash Madness do for the local beverage scene?
It just raises awareness, I think. There's a lot of, like, you're seeing a lot of these people with their cocktails are using new things. Like one of them was using Jack Daniel's Blackberry, which just came out last year, which was kind of fun. That's one that we actually did a cocktail with in the store and sampled it out that way. And so you can sell multiple components at once, kind of a sales builder. But it was a similar and yet completely different take on how to make a cocktail with that. Ours was super easy. We just did a meal. This one was a very intricate, very detailed cocktail. I can't remember what the name of the place was though, but it was excellent. It's the Dakota Deadeye is the name of the cocktail. Just can't remember.
Cascada.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to forgive me. It was my first time down at Steel District for all of that. So,
and you had several drinks. So.
Yeah.
Can you talk just a little bit more about how Mash Madness and maybe the work that DTSF is doing aligns with what Willikers is trying to accomplish in our community?
Yeah, I mean, it lines up perfectly with what we would want to see, right? Like we have a massive store with a ton of options. So if all we were going to do is come out and sell everybody Jack Daniels and Busch Light, we wouldn't need 26,000 square feet. We could just set up a little box and shovel bottles out the window. But we want people to go out and try new things and experiment a little bit and be able to see what all these different options can do. And something like this, with people that know what they're doing and know how those components are going to work together, really showcases what people can do with the options that we have.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Tracy. Is there any parting words of wisdom for the people listening?
No, just get down, try those drinks and enjoy the show. I mean, when they're putting those things together, it's not like they're throwing two things in a cup and handing it to you, like multiple things on fire while we were doing this. So they do a good job of putting on a show and building some really good drinks.
great. Patrick, thank you for joining me on Hello Downtown. We're talking Mash Madness, of course, but we also want to hear about Perch and all the things you're involved in. Can you just tell our listeners who you are and what you do?
Yeah, you bet. Patrick Saylor. I'm the co-owner and I guess CEO of Perch neighborhood restaurant here in Sioux Falls. So partners in the restaurant with a couple other fun folks around town, Barry and Jordan from Bread and Circus and Alex Halbach from the law firm upstairs from the restaurant there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how long has Perch been around? It's been a couple of years now.
Yeah, we're past the year mark for sure. I think we're coming up. Gosh, are we coming up on 2? I think we're coming up on 2 years now, actually, this spring.
You have to. I've been taking my little girl there for sure more than a year.
Yeah. Wow. That's got to be, we're coming up on 2 years fully open. I feel like our soft open of the restaurant lasted like 6 months because we were doing pop-ups and all that kind of stuff for quite a while before we were able to really fully open the doors on the restaurant.
Well, it's a really cool concept. It's just this beautiful restaurant popped right in the middle of a neighborhood. And it's so close to downtown, and you participate in our stuff, our events, obviously Mash Madness, but other events as well. Mm-hmm. And really a true extension of what we would call proper downtown. So,
yeah. When we first started talking about doing Perch, we realized that it was something fairly unique to Sioux Falls, because it is in a neighborhood. Zoning here is very suburban. And it's pretty archaic in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of, this is a building, this is a business district here, and this is a neighborhood here, and we don't blur those lines. And when we first started talking to the city about it, they really did kind of look at it as an opportunity to explore maybe how some of that zoning looks and how some of that works. And we're really hoping to, be a good partner with the city and partner with our neighbors, the folks that live in the neighborhood, to show that this kind of stuff is possible. I lived several years in Minneapolis and just really enjoyed being able to wander down to a corner coffee shop in the neighborhood, push the stroller over to a restaurant, sit on a patio. And that's what we had hoped to bring to Sioux Falls. And I think, we've done that so far, and we've done everything we can to be a good neighbor to everybody in the neighborhood, and, not cause ruckus and bring a net positive to the neighborhood instead of being like a negative impact on it. So I think it's gone pretty well so far.
I think you've absolutely been successful at that. It's such a cool environment over there, and we're glad to have you just a couple blocks away from downtown and participating in our events. And last year, Perch actually took home the Mash Madness title in the non-alcoholic category.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your drink from last year?
That was a super unique drink.
Pandan Cloud, I believe.
It was honestly the server that came up with that one really knocked it out of the park. I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of Pandan before. I didn't know what it was.
Me either.
And it was a really, really good drink and a really great way to highlight like cold brew coffee and just what we were doing there. So we were stoked to win that one in the non-alcoholic category. It was pretty cool. It was a great feeling.
Yeah. And when people are voting on these drinks, it's not necessarily the volume that you're selling. That's great. Of course, that's why kind of DTSF is hosting this event is to drive sales to businesses. But it's really about quality and the response from the community on a couple of categories, taste, aroma, and a couple of other categories that they're voting on.
Yeah.
They responded incredibly to your drink.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was surprised. Well, I've been involved with a number of other businesses in the downtown in DTSF, and this was my first foray into the drink battle. And so I didn't really know what to expect, but that was one that we kept around for quite a while afterwards. Once we hit real high volume in the summertime, it did become a little bit tricky. It was a very labor intensive drink. So we had to move on to some other ones that we could produce in a little speedier
Sure.
during our busier patio
Yeah,
time.
it's a smaller space intentionally, and you're probably, I'm sure you're trying to turn over tables as quickly as you can without pushing people out the door. But
yeah.
well,
So this year, just in response to how, coffee drinks in general have been a much bigger part of our business there than we initially planned for. We planned for maybe 10 to 15% of our business would be from coffee and beverage in general. And it's really been at least 30% or more of our business there.
Interesting.
At Perch. So, we're actually adding another barista station to the garage building. We haven't landed it. We keep going around in circles on what to name it. It's like the outbuilding, the garage, the annex. I like to call it the mullet, because it's business in front and there's the party in the back, the bar back there.
That's my personal favorite so far.
Yeah, I'm trying to get mullet to stick, so I might need some help there because I don't think everybody else loves it as much as I do. But yeah, we had to add another espresso machine back there and another drink station that we're hoping to get up and running soon, as soon as the weather cooperates with the patio, just to help with that volume for the drinks in the summer.
Yeah, and you're participating again this year, but there's these drink competitions, these food competitions. Can you just kind of speak to what they mean to a business and why do you participate?
Yeah, well, for me, there's two angles to that. There's the personal one where my goodness, it's January, February, and in the Midwest, it's always a bit of a, it just feels like we're all just hitting pause, and just riding out the winter, the last couple, weeks of the roughest parts of winter, looking forward to spring. So, on a personal level, I always love Burger Battle, and Mash Madness because it's something to do. It's something to pull you out of your routine, but from a restaurant perspective, for us, it gives us a chance to refocus on something other than, just our regular cycle of changing out menus and seasonally and those types of things. Would love to incorporate more of a like local produce perspective and ingredients into what we're doing during this time of year. But again, that's tough in South Dakota with the weather. So, I think it's just a great little boost for all of us businesses. It's friendly competition as well between different restaurateurs all texting each other how it's going and, maybe a little bit of, oh, you're doing that, you're doing that one. Oh, I remember my first coffee drink, that kind of stuff.
Some sass.
Yeah. Just, we might get a little bit of sass here and there, but
it's good,
but it's all in good fun.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I mean, if drinks are they're accounting for 30% of your business, that's pretty incredible. And not that Mash Madness really has anything to do with that, but it's pretty telling, what Perch means to the neighborhood and to the community, kind of viewing you as their local coffee shop in addition to a restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's pretty cool. It's part of their lives.
And we have, I got to give all the credit on that to our servers and our baristas at Perch. They're the ones that are there day to day and hour after hour making this stuff. And Michaela, our head barista, is just phenomenal at putting together just beverages in general, but especially coffee drinks. She's an expert, and she's the one that came up with the recipe for Mash Madness this year. So,
well, let's talk about it. It's the banana pudding matcha.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting away from the coffee this year and doing a matcha based drink. Just a little bit of a pivot, but pretty exciting. I mean, matcha's been around a long time. I remember matcha coming around maybe even 15 years ago or more, in the cities when I ran some coffee shops there. And, back then it was just your really, really basic matcha latte. And that was enough for, consumers. It was outlandish enough. It kind of tasted like grass, but kind of like vanilla. Don't know what to do with this thing, but I know I kind of like it, but I don't know what it is. And people's palates have advanced in the matcha category so much in the last 15 years that you got to kind of keep innovating in that area and not just throwing some, oat milk and some vanilla and some matcha in there. So this year, Michaela came up with one, and she's actually using ceremonial grade matcha, which is this much higher quality version. You kind of there's several different types of matcha. You can get a culinary matcha, which is great for baking and things like that. And then we use barista matcha, which is the next step up. And then ceremonial level is, generally prohibitively expensive for day-to-day use in matcha land, but it is what we brought in. And to me, this one is a little bit dessert-like in a way. It's got a lot of funky other stuff in there too. But and when full disclosure, when she first said banana, I was like, gross, come on. It's like, what? Like green, that sort of earthy, grassy flavor of matcha with banana. But when I tried it, I was like, oh, okay.
I get it.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, both matcha and banana are kind of a flavor you have to like.
Yes. Yeah. They're an acquired
like
flavor.
All in or all out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Matcha has that earthiness, but at the same time, if you, even without anything else in it, when you taste matcha, it has its own vanilla-like sweetness in the background of that earthiness of the green tea. And so, tying in that banana flavor and those vanilla wafers, really, really kind of bring it all together.
Do you know what sparked the idea for her?
That's a great question.
She just likes these flavors.
Everybody should ask Michaela about it when they go in, though. Why have you done this?
Why did you do this to us? I love that. Well, Mash Madness has become a fan favorite event for downtown Sioux Falls, for the whole Sioux Falls community. It's, when we talk about Burger Battle has been around for 13 years. Mash Madness has not been around that long. And so it's showing similar growth trends that Burger Battle did years ago, which is very exciting for us and just for the small business support that it provides. But it's early in its history. And so just from your perspective, both as purchase representative and just someone that's deeply connected in the local food scene, what do you personally enjoy most about the event? I know there's a business side to it, but what do you personally enjoy about the event?
Well, I'm actually going on, I want to say like 7 years without drinking alcohol. And so for me, my favorite part about it is that we're incorporating non-alcoholic beverages on that side. And, when I first kind of got away from drinking, you'd go to a bar and maybe you'd get a soda water with lime or something like that. And now there's...
You gotta pretend.
Yeah, you'd kind of pretend or whatever, or a LaCroix or something. And now there's all these different options. So I think it's a lot more approachable, inclusive for the competition to have that category now. And I really appreciate that part of it. Because, I know that there's a lot of other folks too that maybe haven't quit drinking alcohol completely, but like to go out and have something a little different other than a fountain soda or something when they're out at a bar or out at a restaurant. So I really enjoy that element of it. And I get pretty repetitive in my drink routines. So now going out to different places and trying I'm excited to try different drinks from various places and see what they come up with in the non-alcoholic category, just to break myself out of that routine and the monotony of that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and Perch is known for your scratching breakfast, lunch, local sourcing, as you've mentioned a couple of times now, creative twists on the classics. What do you want the overall experience to be like for a guest?
I ultimately we want it to feel comfortable, and like a extension of their home. It's the best when we have our neighbors that just walk there, that's what we're there for. That's our biggest focus, is serving that neighborhood, making sure everybody that lives near us feels like they can walk in, just for a quick snack, a scone or something, or a cup of coffee, or come there with the family for a full dining experience. And try to make that as comfortable as possible. And obviously the patio during the summer, we want people to, you know, be able to feel like they can get a scratch made meal in the neighborhood, in a really cool, fun atmosphere, taking a couple rays of sunshine and, you know, have a great experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been working with Co-op, but you also work with Perch. Is there anything else on the horizon? There are more restaurants like this that you're thinking about?
Always. I mean, I never stop thinking about what other things that we could be doing. Yeah, there's probably some stuff in the works. Nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to spill your secrets.
Yeah, nothing, you know, no big announcements right at this very moment. But yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, anytime anytime you have a restaurant that's on a wait list, you know, all weekend long, and then a good majority of the summer, it was, hey, you know, people are responding well to this. And so we're always looking for other opportunities, but we do know that we've created a pretty unique experience with where Perch is and what Perch is as well. And so we're not really looking to commoditize that in some sort of sanitary way. It really would have to be a recreation of what we've done there in a historic building in a historic area. If we're gonna look to do that again, I think.
Very cool. Yeah. So, okay. As you look back through your journey in your restaurants in Minneapolis, and now in Sioux Falls with the Co-op and Perch, what have you learned about the role that local food, good food, and good beverage play in shaping a strong and a connected community?
Yeah. I've learned a ton. I'll be honest. I believe that there's more of a connection between restaurants and grocery here in Sioux Falls than what I experienced in Minneapolis, which, you know, may sound kind of crazy culturally or whatever you may think, but it's, I think the scale of the size of Sioux Falls right now and the way we're growing is in a place that allows that connection to be much deeper. You know, we're able, between Perch or the Co-op or all the other amazing restaurants downtown Sioux Falls, to support some really, really great local farmers and local producers. You know, I think we're at a little bit of an inflection point there, because I think there's some folks that have been growing food here in Sioux Falls for a really long time that are ready to retire. And I think we are going to need to think hard about how we're helping those folks transition those farms that they've been working on to new owners, or, you know, the business that was there to other farmers that are up and coming, and making sure that us as business leaders are fostering that connection. And, you know, when someone has that awesome experience of being able to finally put the shovel down and retire and relax a little bit after they've been doing it for so long, that we don't just drop the ball and go to a national distributor for something that we can get here locally. That really, I really challenge the local business owners and restaurant owners to make sure that we're not just running off to that order guide, that slick order guide from the national company, and putting the effort in to find that stuff locally first, to make sure that when those farms are handed off, you know, the business is still, the revenue is still there to support those people.
You just described beautifully the whole idea of what downtown is. So
yes,
thank you for that. Yeah. The shopping local, and there's choice in there, and yes, sometimes higher price tags, but there's certainly much higher value when you choose to operate that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. That local multiplier is a lot greater. You know, that dollar spent here downtown Sioux Falls at a local business goes into more than likely a local bank at the end of the night, instead of off to, you know, a accountant in Germany and Aldi's bank or whoever you might find that stuff at. So it's worth a couple extra cents, I think, to spend that money locally and keep our downtown thriving.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, well, we're super grateful for Perch and for the work that you're doing. I think anyone that just heard this episode get over to Perch, try this this banana matcha drink, and give it a ranking. So anything else you want to share?
No, just thanks for having me. I really appreciate the conversation. It's been great.
You are listening to Hello Downtown, a podcast by Downtown Sioux Falls Incorporated. I'm Brandon Hansen.
I'm Taryn Sietsema with Downtown Sioux Falls. Here is today's member moment. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to this member moment. I am happy to be joined today by April Meyerink, who is VP of Business Development at American Bank and Trust right here in downtown Sioux Falls. Hello, April.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for joining me. This is great.
We've already had so much fun.
I know. Never at a loss for words around here, that's for sure. All right, are you ready to jump into this?
I am.
Okay, question number 1. Describe your business in 5 words or less.
So I pondered this for a while, started using a little bit of ChatGPT to see if it could help me a little bit. But interesting enough, ChatGPT just reaffirmed the words that I had chosen.
Well, there you go.
Yes, which I thought was great. So the 5 words that I had came up with was integrity, community, innovative, customer-centered, and trustworthy.
I love that,
Yeah.
which I think probably describes you personally as well.
Oh, well, thank
Right?
you.
Question number 2, this or that, Riverfest or Parade of Lights?
Well, unfortunately, ChatGPT could not help me with this one. So I honestly like both of them. And I hate to be that person that's on the
Yeah.
fence, but there's so much fun on either one of them. We were just recently a participant of the Downtown Sioux Falls Parade of Lights because we had a cocoa booth, a cocoa stand, and just the excitement, seeing all the kids, the partnership with the pavilion, bringing the Grinch downtown, just I love the lights at Christmas time, and it just makes downtown so beautiful.
Pretty.
Yes. So I love that aspect.
Yep.
Of course, who doesn't love summer patio drinks?
I know. So would you pick summer patio drinks or winter cozy cocktails?
God, it's hard to say.
I know.
It depends on if there's wind.
Well, so 10% of the time in South Dakota, there's no wind.
Yeah. So 10% of the time, I like the summer patio
Or
drinks.
if it's like under 20 miles per hour, then you're good to go, right?
Yes.
That's what I feel like.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Question number 3. What's your go-to downtown guilty pleasure? A coffee drink, a snack, hidden gem, or a little routine that you can't resist?
Oh, that's so hard. It's such a tough question too. And I had actually thought about this, and every time I thought about it, I came up with a different answer because every day you could go to a different establishment, a different coffee shop.
Agree.
My most recent guilty pleasure is going to Cafe Bredico.
Yeah.
Just going in there, they automatically remember who you are now. And so it's just
Amazing.
so cozy. It's something new.
Yeah.
Then, now it's going to Pomegranate Market downtown as well. They have a really great coffee shop, but it's just, you could spend hours in that market just because of all the different things that they have.
Isn't that the truth?
Oh my gosh, they have a hot bar, a cold bar, all this other
Such a
stuff.
cool addition to downtown.
Yes, yeah.
Agree completely.
But my guilty pleasure, I would say, is going to CH Patisserie.
I mean, you can't pass that up either.
No.
I mean, that's just such a great place.
I mean, I'm all for a macaron.
With unique things too. That's the best part about it. Because I think people just don't expect that to be in downtown Sioux Falls.
I'm bummed I didn't get to try their burger.
It was really good.
Ugh,
Next year, April. Next year.
I'm there.
Okay, question number 4. If downtown Sioux Falls had a mascot, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. My first reaction was Archie, the Arch.
Oh, that's awesome.
But then I used ChatGPT as always.
Archie.
And so Ben the Bison was another one that they came up
And
with.
the bison. Okay.
But then I kind of doubled down on Archie's and, wouldn't Archie be cool? You could have this little mascot that's,
That's really cute.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one yet. So that you're very unique. I love it so much.
Yeah, I'll copyright that for you.
Okay. I expect it. Okay. Last question. For people walking into your business for the first time, what's one key thing they should know about American Bank and Trust?
Well, initially, right off the bat, we are a community local bank, local decisions, local support. We are operated with local ownership. You are banking with neighbors. You're not banking with a corporation or a large corporated, or large bank corporate feeling. And so not only you're banking with your neighbors, but your friends. We are so relationship based.
Yeah.
We do not want transactions.
Yep.
We want relationships. We want to be part of your journey through all stages of your life.
Love that.
And so any way that we can help out in any aspect, whether you are a client of ours or not, we're there to help.
I love that. And I think that's so fitting that you're in downtown Sioux Falls too.
Yeah.
Because that just kind of
Such a welcoming community.
Yes, exactly. 100%. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you for your advocate level membership. We love having you guys. Thank you for your support of downtown Sioux Falls.
You guys make it so much fun.
Yeah. Thanks, April.
This is Hello Downtown.